नोट छपते हैं, वो फ्रेश नोट्स के ऊपर ये शुरुआत की जा सकती है।
The BJP accused Kejriwal of appeasement politics in the run-up to elections in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh.
उस वीडियो को देखे जिसमें केजरीवाल जी कह रहे थे कि मैं तो किसी भी कीमत पे उस राम मंदिर में आराधना करने, पूजा करने नहीं जाऊंगा, क्योंकि उस राम मंदिर में पूजा जो है वो भगवान प्राप्त नहीं करेंगे। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने यू टर्न लिया है। ये वही अरविंद केजरीवाल जी है जिनके बहुत सारे मीम, जिनके बहुत सारे हिंदू विरोधी फोटो प्रसिद्ध हैं उनके ट्वीट में।
जो इंसान कभी कहता था, मेरी नानी कहती है अयोध्या में राम मंदिर नहीं बनना चाहिए, वहां अस्पताल बनना चाहिए, मेरा राम लाला वहां नहीं रहेगा। जो कभी स्वास्तिक पवित्र निशान के पीछे झाड़ू वाली फोटो लगाकर दौड़ा रहा था स्वास्तिक के पवित्र निशान को, दीपावली पे अगर कोई गणेश जी को, लक्ष्मी जी की पूजा करेगा, पटाखे चलाएगा, इनको मानेगा तो जेल में डाल दूंगा। गुजरात के लोगों ने क्या पटाया उसको, क्या उसके मुंह के ऊपर चांटे लगाए, उसको अपनी राजनीति से धर्म की मजबूरी समझ में आ गई।
Facing flak, AAP tried to turn the tables on the BJP.
मुझे हैरानी है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी भारत की करेंसी पर महालक्ष्मी जी और गणेश जी की तस्वीरें लगाने का विरोध कर रही है। मुझे बहुत आश्चर्य है। आज मुख्यमंत्री जी ने एक विचार ये रखा है और भाजपा सुबह से इसके विरोध पे उतरी हुई है। मुझको समझ में नहीं आता इनको इतनी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, इतनी चिढ़ क्यों है।
In recent years, Kejriwal has not shied away from wearing his religion on his sleeve, whether it was chanting the Hanuman Chalisa or calling for a Ram Rajya and going on temple runs. But is his divine intervention fix for the falling rupee simply an election stunt?
All right, is this an election stunt? Joining us on the talking point, RP Singh is BJP national spokesperson, Vivek Bansal of the Congress party joining us, Siddharth Sharma is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi party, Dushyant Sridhar, Vedic scholar, and Yashwant Deshmukh, psephologist, will also be joining us. Siddharth Sharma, let me start with you first. Is this not a plain election stunt? Please explain to our viewers how having the pictures of Goddess Lakshmi and Lord Ganesha is going to actually help the Indian rupee get strength against the dollar. After all currencies, almost all currencies in the world are losing against the dollar since 2022 began.
Yeah, Zaka, very happy Deepavali to everyone, all the viewers of CNN News 18. The point here is that the BJP, I'll start with a little bit of a satire. The BJP, which revels itself in bodyline bowling, it should not shy away, it should be brave enough to face a few bouncers on its own. That said, in satire, the serious point is that we don't understand why the BJP today is going against Lord Ganesha and Goddess Lakshmi. Because what we are asking, it's just an appeal from Arvind Kejriwal. And when you say it's an election stunt, it is not an election stunt, because the BJP can always say that, okay, we are not asking it to be done tomorrow. They can always go ahead and do it after the Gujarat elections, election results are declared. The point here is that the BJP, which speaks itself about cultural nationalism, and we are speaking today about Lord Ganesha and Goddess Lakshmi, who are also cultural icons across India. We are just asking, and in fact, we are not asking, we are appealing to the Prime Minister that these motives can be edged in the currency of India.
Mr. Sharma, I'll go to RP Singh in a second, but please explain to our viewers how having the symbols or emblems of gods and goddesses is going to strengthen the Indian currency. The Indian currency has fallen almost 10% to the dollar compared to where it was at the start of this year. Just this year alone, in the last 10 months, the Indian rupee has fallen almost 10% to the US dollar. How will having Ganesha or Lakshmi or any gods and goddesses on the currency help save that?
Yes, very nice of Zaka to accept that the Indian rupee is falling against the dollar, and the falling rupee against the dollar has to be arrested by the government through its policies. Obviously, the government's policies are failing. That's what you're saying. When the government's policies are failing, what do we do as a last resort? We ask for the blessings of the supernatural. That's what we are asking for. That these supernatural powers like Lord Ganesha and Goddess Lakshmi are being revered across India, not just in India, across South Asia and many countries, including Netherlands and West Indies in South America. So these are gods which which spiritual gods which help people come out of their problems. And as you very rightly said, for the first time, I think CNN News 18 and the BJP is accepting that the dollar is rupee is falling against
No,
the dollar.
let's ask
And
RP Singh that, because the finance minister says she has a different take on it. She says the rupee is not falling; it's actually fallen less compared to other currencies. The dollar is strengthening, right? That's her take. Anyway, I want one second. I want to ask RP Singh. No, one second, ma'am, sir. I want to ask RP Singh. Fact of the matter is, RP Singh, that Aam Aadmi Party is saying BJP is today rattled because for the first time in the last 8 years, a political party in this country is attacking the BJP from the right. All of the attacks so far on the BJP have been from the left, from Congress Party, RJD, Samajwadi Party. All our opposition parties are trying to attack the BJP from the left. This is the first time that here is a party who is trying to prove there is more Hindu than the BJP. Therefore, the BJP is rattled. Jawab dijiye.
Well, Dhaka, do you think people of the country are foolish? They will accept the poor carbon copy, who's trying to be poor carbon copy than the real. The fact is that this party has been anti-Hindu throughout. I'll give you 2-3 examples. In Delhi, sorry to say, that imams, Maulvis get monthly emolument from Delhi government, almost in 20 to 32,000 rupees per masjid. But a similar thing being paid to pujaris in temple who do prarthana every day, who do archana every day for Ganesh Ji and Lakshmi Ji, or to the granthis in Punjab where they are the elected government. No, it's only because they want to appease certain vote bank, they have been following their policy. Now, keeping in mind the Gujarat election, especially the way they were being battered on Diwali issue, because they said even a 6-year-old child, if bursts a cracker, he'll be arrested and will sent for 6 months to the jail. And then there's so much strong social reaction on that that people went ahead. I'm sorry to say that people went ahead and burst crackers, and they couldn't do anything. But the fact is that to cover up that, they came up with this. They had no other option.
But RP Singh Saab, the fact of the matter is, give me 10 seconds. Fact of the matter is that even in Uttar Pradesh, Maulanas and Maulvis from the recognized madrasas across the state get a token amount from the Sarkar every month. So it's not just the Delhi government. Also, in the case of Punjab, in the case of Delhi, wherever it is, those gurdwaras which are taking a grant or an aid from the government they are paid some amount of money. You can always debate about how much money should be paid, what this thing is, remuneration is. But those religious institutions which take aid from the government are paid a nominal amount of money.
I'm sorry, Jaka. We'll be in the debate for another 20 minutes. Ask your research team to search for it. Not a single penny goes from the state exchequer. Here the state pays. No state government pays to religious institution, the priest of the religious institution or imams of the religious institution. It's only in Delhi which happens. But that point aside,
sir, that's not true. Sir, we did a debate on madrasas yesterday. UP government has 500 plus, almost 550 plus madrasas that are recognized by the UP government, to whom in fact, the UP government's budget for madrasas last year is 470 crores. अगर वो पैसे नहीं दे रहे मौलवी को, तो किसको दे रहे वो 470 करोड़?
वो एजुकेशन के लिए जा रहे हैं, ना कि मस्जिद के लिए नहीं जा रहे. वो एजुकेशन मदरसास में एजुकेशन के लिए जा रहे हैं, एजुकेशन को अपग्रेड करने के लिए जा रहे हैं. Here is not being given to madrasas, is only given to masjids, specifically only for masjid, which has no madrasa attached to it.
Anyway, so we are deviating from the topic. Topic is about putting the images of Goddess Lakshmi and Lord Ganesha on rupee and how that's going to save the Indian currency. So let me ask Vivek Bansal of the Congress Party. उसके बाद यशवंत देशमुख के पास जा रहा हूँ. विवेक बंसल साहब, ये बताइए कि इंडोनेशियन रुपया जो अरविंद केजरीवाल ने एग्जाम्पल दे दिया आज, Indonesian rupiah has fallen 9.3% against the US dollar since January of 2022. Indian rupee has fallen 9.8% to the US dollar since January of 2022. मतलब बराबर है 9.3%, 9.8%. तो कोई इतना ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है। ऐसा नहीं कि इंडोनेशियन रुपया मतलब डॉलर से आगे बढ़ चुका है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। सो फैक्ट ऑफ द मैटर इज कि लॉर्ड गणेशा के इमेज डालने के बावजूद अगर इंडोनेशियन रुपया भी गिर रही है जैसे इंडियन रुपी गिर रही है, तो ये सब तो बेबुनियाद बातें हैं। आई मीन दीज आर नॉट इकोनॉमिक आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, दीज आर पॉलिटिकल स्टंट्स।
Can I
Vivek Bansal sir.
Can I make one very small point?
I'll come back to you, Sada sahab. I'll come back to you. Two minutes.
Very
Yeah.
small
I
point.
definitely agree with you. These are all political gimmicks, and I think this is making a mockery of our beliefs and our beliefs, Sanatana beliefs, the belief with the gods of the Hindus. This is not done. This is very unethical, and this is, as I said, it is somewhat. I feel that it's a mockery of our beliefs, and because money is used for all sort of purposes, underhand dealings and all, I fail to understand either the logic behind Mr. Kejriwal's suggestion, or he's just trying to play a game of one-upmanship as far as beliefs of the BJP party is concerned, or trying to prove this, that we are bigger Hindus than you. So this is, I think, when we have to draw certain lines in political, despite the vote bank politics. Our religion should not be dragged into it. We should try to avoid that. And I fail to still comprehend, despite stretching my brains, and that how the pictures of Lord Ganesh or Lord Goddess Lakshmi is going to
so the funny part is, and I'll ask
Dushyant
Dushyant Sridhar this after that, Yashwant Deshmukh about the electoral reasons or electoral compulsions for this. But Dushyant Sridhar, fact of the matter is, Dushyant Sridhar, that the dollar has strengthened to virtually every currency in the world since this year began, whether it's British pound sterling, whether it is euro, whether it is the Saudi riyal, whether it is the dirhams in Dubai, Indian rupee, almost every currency the dollar has strengthened against. Now, going by the logic of Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party, the dollar then should have Jesus Christ picture, not George Washington and not Theodore Roosevelt and Abraham Lincoln's picture, right? If that's the argument he's putting forth.
Yeah. Namaskaram Zaka, and namaskaram to all my panelists. I am the only non-political person in this debate, so I hope I'll get some uninterrupted time. So while we are at a stage where we are talking about the digital currency picking up, the digital payments picking up, we should find intelligent ways of going into all classes of people to spread the good message about digital payment, and rather we are talking about which deity's picture should come on the printed note. That said, the first point that I would like to make is, as per the beliefs of Sanatana Dharma, yes, Goddess Lakshmi is the one who grants wealth. Wealth could be of any form, be it gold, be it currency, or be it even knowledge, or even Ganesha, who is the one who removes all the obstacles. But at the same time, Zaka, Lakshmi has been adored as the goddess of water. Ardram Jwalantim, says Sri Suktam. So if at all any government, just not up, if it is BJP or Congress, if they have to bring some prosperity to the country, the civilization states clean the rivers first. Make Yamuna and Ganga so prosperous, so clean, that will bring prosperity to the country. One. Second point, with respect to printing of deities on the currency notes, I don't know where such ideas do come, because as a religion that believes that formless form of worship is important, we also believe in forms. It doesn't mean the forms of gods should be taken to printed notes, plastic covers and bags. So this is a very ridiculous idea to whomever it has struck. And the third part, if at all we want the economy of the country to strengthen and the currency to not fall so much against the dollar, in that case, probably we should pray to Lakshmi and Ganesha that the war stops between Russia and Ukraine. We should pray to gods that there is proper logistics happening all over the world where the fuel prices are not going to rise. These are the ways that we have to pray, and putting them on notes will be a matter of ridicule. I wouldn't say it's hurting any religion. For that matter, Zaka, if even BJP had come up with this idea and you had called me on this debate, even if Congress had come up with this idea and you had called me on this debate, I would have opposed tooth and nail to this idea, because this is a very very ridiculous idea. To impress upon a certain section of people, maybe there are better ways. Probably Hindus are not so easy to be fooled, like where you can bring the photos of Ganesha and Lakshmi on the rupee note and say that the economy is going to improve.
Okay, let me ask Yashwant Deshmukh, how much hard politics is there in this? Because in Gujarat, for example, the electorate is almost 88-89% Hindu. Muslims are less than 10% of the population of Gujarat, and it's been a Hindutva laboratory for the last 3-4 decades now. So the only way the Aam Aadmi Party or any political party can hope to beat the BJP or at least make inroads into the BJP's vote bank there is by trying to be more right of the BJP. You can't be left of the BJP in Gujarat because there's only 10% electorate there. Is this an attempt to try and be more Hindu than the BJP, more Hindutvavadi than the BJP, more right of the BJP? And will this at all succeed in a state like Gujarat?
Well, first of all, Raka, I don't think this is limited to Gujarat. I think what Aam Aadmi Party is trying to do is to basically look at a roadmap which can go beyond Gujarat and for much bigger appeal. Will this work in Gujarat or not? That only the time will tell. But what I feel is that right now, Aam Aadmi Party, with or without the notes of Ganeshi and Lakshmi ji, is making a significant dent in Gujarat as far as the Congress vote share is concerned. So the contest is likely to be quite keen. In our trackers which we run for the ABP, we do not see their graph going down like it went up in Uttarakhand and then it went down very quickly. So it is not looking like at this point of time. We'll keep a keen eye on that. But what looks like, Zaka, is that, going beyond Gujarat and Aam Aadmi Party, there is something serious that is for all the analysts to look into. And that is the entire idea or entire narrative of the Indian politics, which has changed in the last 8 odd years. And it's just not about, for 6 decades in this country, people competed with each other as a champion of secularism, in order to become, electorally significant and winnable strategies. But it seems that in the last 8 years, particularly, this entire equation has changed. And India, for all practical purpose, right now, I believe that electorally speaking, each and every party would be on the right of the right as well.
No, but Yashwant Deshmukh, can I ask one small question? At least in the last election, and this is true for the last many elections, as far as the Congress vote is concerned in Gujarat, it's predominantly a rural vote, largely from Saurashtra. And because of the last election, the dynamics of the Patidar agitation and so on, it was a largely Patel vote. The Aam Aadmi Party, though, is a urban party, whether it's in Delhi or Gujarat or any other state in this country, it's largely seen as an urban phenomenon. So, how is it that by denting the Congress's vote bank, the Aam Aadmi Party is hoping to make a dent? And frankly, by saying that let Lord Ganesha and Goddess Saraswati be on currency notes, I don't think they're denting the Congress's vote bank.
First of all, this idea that Aam Aadmi Party is only an urban phenomena, I think doesn't hold true anymore. As far as data is concerned, they are getting significant tractions even in the rural areas. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, if this traction continues and the data shows that out of every 100 votes that they are kind of influencing right now, approximately 75 are coming from the Congress and approximately 25 coming from the BJP. So all in all, if Aam Aadmi Party, even if they poll only about 10%, that will increase the gap between the Congress and BJP by about 5% votes. And last time, the gap between the Congress and BJP was 10%, approximately 10% vote.
Okay.
Even though on the seat-wise, it looked much closer, 77 and 99, largely because of the fact that you just mentioned that, BJP swept the urban areas with huge majorities and they lost to the rural areas many seats with a much smaller, margins.
Okay.
So that is why I say, if Aam Aadmi Party is given smallest of the possible traction in the rural areas, I'm just giving you a hypothetical. Suppose they are polling about 25% in the urban areas and only about 5% in rural areas. that 25% vote will not make much of a difference what is happening to the BJP and the Congress, because BJP has huge leads in urban Gujarat. But that 5% vote in rural Gujarat is going to create really big dent in Congress because of the smaller margins that the Congress has been
So let me ask Siddharth Sharma, one of the points that's been made by RP Singh and others is that you have just recently denied Hindus in Delhi NCR from bursting crackers, saying that you will go after even little kids who burst crackers. So in order to counter that, you are now coming up with this Hindutva sort of philosophy, have the images and iconographies of gods and goddesses on currency notes, because you're on the back foot as far as the cracker issue is concerned, and Diwali has just passed. So how do you respond to that?
Yeah, 3 points in 30 seconds. Point number 1, this is a total fallacy about the cracker thing. Not one kid, not one person was arrested. Point number 2, the fact of the matter is that there is a lot of hullabaloo about everything. In January of 2014, when Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, India came out with a coin which had a DT Vaishno Devi as its motive. So there is a precedent to this in India. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, and very interesting, the very erudite Hindu scholar in this panel has very clearly said, and that is what we need today in India. Today, after a very long time, there is a debate on national television that yes, the dollar and the rupee is falling against the dollar. There is a very, very good debate going on national television that what is the philosophical tenets of Hinduism. That erudite scholar very clearly said that Hinduism also accepts formless gods. Whereas for the last 8 years, we have been living in symbolism. So these are the kinds of the debates that Aam Aadmi Party is forcing upon BJP today. Not just the debates. The Prime Minister of India had to sit in a classroom after 27 years of ruling Gujarat. He had to sit in a classroom. That is the change. That is the narrative that we
Let
want.
me ask RP Singh that. RP Singh, the fact that you are having to defend a falling rupee, the fact that Prime Minister goes to a classroom in Gujarat after 30 years in power, this the Aam Aadmi Party claims is because they have forced you to address these issues. Please, RP Singh Saab, respond. Siddharth Sharma, please yield. I've given you enough time. Let RP Singh respond. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please yield. RP Singh. RP Singh. Ji.
Zaka, I'm sorry, you should have stopped the gentleman there and then when he said the Prime Minister went to the classroom after 27 years. Prime Minister Modi ji, when he was the Chief Minister, used to regularly visit schools and take care of the school education. And school education is the best, Gujarat is the best in the country. I'm sorry, and you can check on the you can check on your research team to tell you the details. But that point aside, who is talking? Rajinder Pal Gautam said that हम तो किसी देवी देवता में मानते नहीं, हम तो लक्ष्मी में गणेश में मानते नहीं. Just he said, and still part of the Aam Aadmi Party. Their Gujarat president, what did he say? If women go to temples, they'll be molested, they'll be harassed. Don't go to temples. Don't go to bhajan kirtan mandalis. This is their stand, and he is still the party president there. But again, I repeat, let Mr. Bhagwant Mann give a request in writing. Following Mr. Kejriwal's footsteps, saying that this should be done. One. Secondly, again, when will they start paying allowances to, which has not been done in Delhi, and then don't mix up madrasas with the masjids, only for masjid. Similar to that, to temples and gurdwaras.
Okay. Let me go back to Dushyant Sridhar. Again, the idea of literacy of the school model, and I just want to bring in this data as well. As per the last census of India, the literacy rate in Delhi is 86% in the urban areas. In Gujarat, in the urban areas, it's 78%. So, I'm just making that distinction. Of course, one is a 4-5 crore population state, the other is a 1.5 crore population state. But fact of the matter remains that today you are having a debate by two mainstream political parties on putting insignias on the currency notes, which, we all agree may not be the best or most scientific way of strengthening the rupee. Fact of the matter is that the finance minister is on record said that the dollar is not getting strong. The rupee is not getting weak, but it's the dollar getting strong. That's what she said.
So, what is the question that that you have, Zaka?
No, so my question, Dushyant Sridhar, is, I mean, is this the level of discourse that we are going to grind down to in this country at a time when, you know, again, this debate, just give me 10 seconds. You know, people are going on and on about Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak became Prime Minister of Britain not because he's Hindu or not because he hails from Indian origin. He became Prime Minister because he has one job to do, and that one job is to fix the British economy. He's qualified to do that. His past record shows that he's capable of doing that. That's why he's got the job.
Zaka, on a very lighter note, all our politicians are blessed immensely by Lakshmi. All that they need is Saraswati. They need education to even come up with statements such as this. Now, getting back to this particular point of printing deities on the notes, in my humble opinion, IMHO, I feel it's a very ridiculous idea. And coming to one more point, if at all, any of the politicians, I'm not talking about one, any of the politicians believe that printing the deity on an Indian rupee note could help solve the problem, then Krishna's statement that do your duty, karmanyeva adhikaraste, goes false. So every individual, every citizen of this country should do their duty well, should follow the rules well. The government should frame policies well. These are the ways that probably we can get out of whatever economic muddle that the world is in.
Okay, I'll give Yashwant Deshmukh the final word. I'm really out of time. Just last 30 seconds. What I want to know is, has this become the new normal, Yashwant Deshmukh, that parties can't be seen as catering to the left or catering from the left or attacking the BJP from the left? You have to, if you have to beat the BJP, you have to beat them outflanking them from the right. That's why the Aam Aadmi Party is doing what it's doing.
Well, pretty much yes. I mean, if you will ask about the political positioning, I think pretty much yes. But more than the beating the BJP or anything like that, I believe that this country's political discourse has changed so much that earlier you could get votes sounding anti-Hindu. Then came at a time when you were electorally unviable if you sounded anti-Hindu. And now it is the time where it is going in a direction where you have to sound pro-Hindu all the time in order to get the votes. So basically the political narrative of this country has kind of changed in a very, very affirmative way.
All right.
Where maybe 20 years down the lane, you are looking at India, which has a political landscape of far right versus the right, rather than the right versus center, or certainly not the right versus
All right, we'll leave it at that. I'm just borrowing something that somebody said on Twitter today, and I think it was pertinent, that if you look at the iconography in Hindu religion, in Hindu tradition, Goddess Lakshmi sits on a lotus. It's a flower. Flowers sometimes bloom, sometimes wilt. That's how money is. Sometimes you get money, sometimes money goes out of your hands. It is not a permanent feature in our lives. So let's leave it at that. Thank you very much to all our guests. Quick break. We'll see you on the other side.
Atalji, this is the BJP of Narendra Modi, which is driving and thriving on massive polarization. It does not even require any kind of indication that the BJP strives and thrives on polarization. Now but
Kapil, is your point that minority community candidates just can't aspire for high constitutional offices in this country because, you know, the BJP can turn around and say that a Dalit president also comes from a marginalized community, comes from one of the most disadvantaged communities. A tribal woman president comes from one of the most disadvantaged, both socially and economically disadvantaged communities. Even that is representation in high office. It's not just that you have to be Muslim or Christian or Sikh to be considered minority.
Zaka, let me tell you, I am not for a minute saying that you should give precedence to religion over merit. Of course, yes, when someone needs to be elected to any government offices, any office of public importance, of course the merit should be the predominant deciding factor. But we need to understand and we need to see what this incumbent government does. I mean, this is the government that is following extreme right wing political ideology, where I mean their minister left, right, and center indulges in hate speeches targeting a particular community.
Look, once again, that's a separate debate from that's a separate debate from today's debate topic is very simple. It's taking off from what Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Tharoor said, that minority candidates, even if they are meritorious in this country, cannot aspire to high office because the politics is that of majoritarianism. So let me ask Guru Prakash Paswan of the BJP the two specific points that Kapil Madan said. Number one, you don't have a single Muslim member of parliament, and you have 300 of them, and you don't have any Muslims in the Union Council of Ministers as of right now. Please respond.
Zaka, I would like to remind your viewers that the founding members of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Sikandar Bakht Sahab was one of the founding members of the Bharatiya Janata Party. For the first time in our history, Zaka, we have a Pasmanda Muslim, a Muslim from a backward and the marginalized community, Danish Rizwan Ansari, in the Uttar Pradesh cabinet. Don't they deserve representation? Don't they deserve justice? If you are backward or marginalized, do the only elite among the Muslim deserve to be represented? I ask my friend from the Congress party. Ghulam Ali ji was sent to Rajya Sabha. Who is Mr. Ghulam Ali? Probably my friends don't know. Mr. Ghulam Ali is a Gujar, a scheduled tribe Muslim from Jammu and Kashmir. Maybe Mehbooba Mufti ji is not aware of him. Mehbooba Mufti ji is not aware because he is a scheduled tribe. He is a Gujar. He is a Muslim. The point is precisely this. Be it Mr. Tharoor, be it Mehbooba Mufti ji, they just want to do the minority appeasement politics. That has been the fundamental
so
problem.
How are you making that distinction?
No,
once again, Guru, you are saying you've sent Muslim candidates to the Rajya Sabha, you are saying you've got Muslim candidates as ministers in the UP government. Why then couldn't you find a single capable enough Muslim candidate, obviously one who can win an election, to field in the Lok Sabha? Or why couldn't, in the UP election that happened earlier this year, couldn't you find a single candidate, a Muslim candidate, who could win an assembly seat? Or is that stated policy that you believe that is appeasement, therefore you will not give tickets just because somebody happens to be a Muslim?
No, Zaka, that is entirely not the case. If there is any candidate who is a winnable candidate, BJP will already have, in the history you see, in Bihar elections there were Muslim candidates, in multiple other state elections you have had Muslim candidates. That is not the point. But the point which I am trying to convey is precisely this. When predominantly Muslim seats like Rampur and Azamgarh, these are predominantly Muslim seats, they have voted for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Who has benefited the abolition of triple talaq? Who has benefited the abrogation of Article 370? The beneficiaries of Jan Dhan Yojana, 47 crore bank accounts nationally. You are suggesting that there are no Muslims in it? This is preposterous to suggest, Zaka. Our only point is that
one is welfare schemes. Once again. I think again we're confusing two issues. One is welfare schemes. Is there any discrimination in welfare schemes? No, I don't think that's the case the opposition is making. The opposition is making a case for meritorious minority candidates. Can they aspire for high office from within the BJP? Anyway, let me get Adnan Malik. You know, the problem with this minority candidates can't aspire for the top job argument is that Rishi Sunak's extraordinary political journey has been reduced to the fact that he's a minority candidate. That's the greatest, gravest, most unfair thing that you can say to him and of his career, because look at the schools he went to. He's gone to Oxford, he's gone to Stanford, he had a shining career as an investment banker, gave all that up, came to England at the age of 35 to run for Member of Parliament, won his first election, and in 7 years in public life, he's gone from MP to PM. I mean, if this is not a story of merit, then I don't know what it is.
Yes, very, very true that Rishi Sunak is totally become Prime Minister.
Good evening. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi has weighed in on the Rishi Sunak as a minority candidate becoming Britain's Prime Minister, that entire debate that's been stirred off. Owaisi says he dreams of a day when a hijab-wearing woman can and will become the Prime Minister of India, which is all very well. It's a noble intention. No one has a quibble with that. But shouldn't charity begin at home? In Mr. Owaisi's party, for example, there are no women in any senior leadership position, either as party president, secretary, or even MLAs that the MIM has in different states. So should Owaisi be preaching about gender rights when his own party's record is so patchy?
British Asian Rishi Sunak's ascent to the high seat of power in the UK has triggered a massive political storm in India. A day after several opposition leaders lamented that such a situation is not possible in India because of a majoritarian government, AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi has added fuel to fire.
मैं तो बोला कि इंशाल्लाह मेरी जिंदगी में या मेरी जिंदगी के बाद एक हिजाब पहनने वाली बच्ची भारत की प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनेंगी बोले.
Owaisi's remark was immediately criticized by the BJP, who asked him to look no further than his own party.
नफरत के जो एक के बाद एक इस तरह के नफरती लोग हैं, उनकी इस तरह के बयान ही उनकी जो है रोजी रोटी है. अपने परिवार के अलग, परिवार से अलग किसी हिजाब वाली महिला को जो है वो चुनाव लड़ाएं और जिताएं.
Let's start the charity from home. When will a hijabi woman become the president of MIM party? There is a Bharat Badnami brigade which has a Sanki Sanak, to use even Rishi Sunak issue.
Even the opposition steered clear of Owaisi's pitch for a hijabi as prime minister.
Why do you think of this as being a communal thing? Anybody in this country, no matter what community, what religion, can aspire to be Prime Minister. There's no problem at all about that.
Owaisi also accused the BJP of attempting to eradicate secularism and equal opportunity in the country. But the fact of the matter is that there are no women MPs, MLAs, or even office bearers in his own party. So is it politics or provocation?
All right, on the big talking point this evening, Ratan Sharda, RSS researcher and author, Suman C. Raman, political analyst, joining us. Mohammad Farhan is spokesperson of the MIM party. Amber Zaidi is a social activist, and Amina Sherwani, women's rights activist, joining us as well. Ratan Sharda, let me start with you first. There are 1.5 million people of Indian descent, persons of Indian origin, in the UK. It's the largest ethnic minority in that country, and one among them, a British Asian of the third generation, Rishi Sunak, has become the Prime Minister of that country. Shouldn't Indians and people of Indian heritage all over the world celebrate that? Instead, you have Mr. Chidambaram and now Mr. Owaisi saying, you know, when will our country get a woman wearing a hijab as Prime Minister? Are they trying to poke holes in the Sunak story, or are they trying to poke holes in what's happening in the country right now?
Actually, it's very amusing Diwali Eve discussions, and I'm really enjoying all these discussions because hypocrisy of these people comes out so openly. First of all, the hijab was never part of our dress for Indian Muslims. There was no burqa. It became prominent just last 20 years back, and hijab has been introduced as an Arabic slavery sign only in recent years. Now, whether they want hijab or burqa, first point. Secondly, would they support Iranian women for the right of freedom who are burning hijab, or they want hijab to be put on the head of the girls who are unwilling to do so? So this patriarchy they have to clarify. If they say Islam is what the best part of Islam is, if they follow Sharia, which they continuously claim that Sharia is above constitution, many debates, then as per Islam, a woman cannot even leave her house without a male accompanying her, if not a male, at least a child. So how can a Muslim woman can become a prime minister when the Islamic society forces her to carry a child or some boy with her going anywhere? And the next, if you say Islamic nation next door to us, in Pakistan there was Benazir Bhutto, she lost her life. She was not a hijab wearing politician. In Bangladesh we had two ladies who became head of the state, prime ministers. They are all without hijab. Show me one country, Islamic or any other, it is especially Islamic, where you have women becoming head of the state. So this, either you support Sharia and Islam, or you say we are a secular country. If you are a secular country, then don't oppose triple talaq. Then if you are secular, then what did you do for 60 years? 50 years prior to 1996, 10 years from 2004 to 2014, secular governments all through, why they could not get a Muslim prime minister elected?
No,
and why in Punjab we cannot have a chief minister who is a Hindu, or in Jammu Kashmir where minority can be chief minister? So this hypocrisy of the entire gang is so funny. And Sunak did not become prime minister because he was a Hindu. He became a prime minister because he worked hard, he worked through the party, he rose to the top, and we must compliment him for that.
Yeah, no, I
he is a
absolutely agree
Hindu
with
and
you. I
became
think
a
you've
PM.
hit the nail on the head, and this is where this debate gets completely sort of fictitious, because Sumansi Raman, Mr. Rishi Sunak got chosen not because he's a Hindu or because of his Indian heritage. He got chosen for two things. Number one, to fix the British economy, and he has a proven record of that as Chancellor of the Exchequer before, and then of course his background in private investment banking, so on and so forth. So he's capable, his capabilities are well tested, and that's the number one reason that he got picked. And the other reason is, England, as is India, a parliamentary democracy, whoever has the support of majority legislators, majority parliamentarians, goes on to become the leader of that party. It is not a post of tokenism. The Prime Minister of a country like India or England is elected by majority. So tomorrow, and nothing stops a hijab-wearing woman, the Constitution certainly does not stop a hijab-wearing woman, if she gets the support of a majority of the people of India to go ahead and become Prime Minister. So this whole debate around Sunak has been reduced to mere tokenism and not about what his capabilities are.
First of all, Zaka, should Mr. Chidambaram or Mr. Owaisi do they have the moral authority to say what they are saying within their parties? The answer is no. That is a different issue. I don't think that they are actually saying that Mr. Rishi Sunak did not get where he was because he had the merit to get the job. I don't think that is their point at all. Their point is the atmosphere in the country is such that it accepts a person belonging to a minority community, belonging to a minority faith in his country, to become the Prime Minister of the country. I think that's the point that's being made. Should Owaisi be making that point? Is he having the same freedom to the women and other groups in his own party? Yeah. All that, of course, is definitely a valid point. But, and I think that this is important. See, we have to understand that this applies to all political parties. Look, we have not had a Muslim chief minister of a state in 40 years, from the early 80s onwards. And I think the last one was Anwara Taimur in Assam. After that, I don't really think we've had a Muslim chief minister. So where is this issue of a society that is being open enough to embrace every different ethnic group within it? We are not. And the rise of the BJP has meant that even political parties which quote unquote claim to be secular are now running scared, seeing the electoral success of the BJP with their hard Hindutva line. And they are running scared. You see Mr. Kejriwal's statement today. Yeah. You have to put Lord Ganesha and Lord Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi on the notes. You know, so it is now a question of who is more Hindu than the other. Because electoral success
fair
seems
enough.
to be assured.
I'm not arguing against that. But the fact is also that electability and winnability has become now the bottom line for political success, whether it's in the BJP or any other party. The same Aam Aadmi party you refer to has an Amanatullah Khan. They have a Tahir Hussain who used to be an MLC. But yes. I want to get to the larger point. Both Ratan Sharda and Sumant also referred to this. So I want to ask Mohammad Farhan. Just give me 10 seconds. Mohammad Farhan is a spokesperson of the AIMIM party. Mohammad Farhan साहब, जो आपके राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष श्री असदुद्दीन ओवैसी ने बोला वो अच्छी बात है, किसी को कोई ऐतराज नहीं है. All right, we've lost him. Let's go to Ambar Zaidi. Ambar, no one has a problem with what Mr. Owaisi said. The problem is his own double standards when it comes to his own party. Everyone, has no problem with a hijab-wearing woman becoming a prime minister as long as he or she is capable, as long as he or she gets elected to public office in this country. But in Mr. Owaisi's party, despite his noble ideals and noble aspirations, the national president is a man. The different state presidents that they have in 5 or 6 states, they're all men. All MLAs that they have across 5 or 6 states where MIM has MLAs, they're all men. Almost all of the spokespersons are men. So where is a woman, hijab wearing or otherwise, in Mr. Owaisi's party in any position of leadership?
Absolutely right, Chika, because as they say, charity begins at home, and whatever Owaisi ji is preaching, he doesn't practice that. So he needs to practice whatever he is preaching to the entire nation. We need to, like, in our country, if we talk about the Muslim women especially, their literacy rate is so low. He doesn't care about the literacy rate of women. He doesn't care about the healthcare of Muslim women. He doesn't give that equal rights that Muslim women has, the Islam or Shariat has given, even the constitution for that matter. But they never talk about the equal right or basic human right the Muslim women should get. But he is just preaching what is like, he should also like, I mean, I just want to ask one question to Owaisi ji. He should at least give up on his MP seat from Hyderabad and nominate at least a woman from his party, and he should give a chance to become a prime minister from a woman from his party at least, and then he can come out and yell out to the people what he is trying to set up a narrative that in India, Muslims are being targeted just because of their religious identities, for hijab, for topi, for beef, or for all these things, which is absolutely not right. He needs to do politics on the real issue, the work on ground.
Okay, Amina Sherwani, you know, I'm taking ahead what the point that Amber Zaidi was making. That again, I have no quibble with Mr. Owaisi wanting to see in his lifetime a burqa-clad or a hijab-clad woman becoming the Prime Minister of this country. Surely, if that person is capable, if that person has electoral majority, the support of the majority of the people of this country, absolutely, that person should go on to become Prime Minister. But in Mr. Owaisi's case, not just this leadership issue in his party, but more importantly, how do you get there? We're talking about Rishi Sunak. It's his capability. He went to the best schools in England and the best universities in the world. It is about his education. As an old man once said, the greatest leveler that we have in this country is quality education. If you get a good education, that is a sure shot route to success. What has Mr. Owaisi's party done about education and for women? Who is the party who said, agar hijab nahi to kitab nahi? Are they not becoming an impediment in the way of girls getting an education, Muslim girls getting an education? Nothing is more important than getting a good education. And if a hijab is an impediment in that, then the hijab should go, not education.
Absolutely. And let me tell you about Rishi Sunak. He even has African blood. He's got an African grandmother from Tanganyika. So he is a Punjabi Khatri from Gujranwala, and as we know, the Khatris are of Greek origin and they traveled from Europe and came this side. He is truly a world citizen. He did not hide himself in hijabs. He got the best education in the world. He has done businesses all over the world. And yes, if Muslim girls will go out and travel Africa, India, Europe, reach every country in the world, and they will be educated, they will certainly become prime ministers, not just of India, but of any country in the world that they choose to become. So the world is our oyster, and that is exactly what Islam and the Quran tells us. To travel, to do business, to be educated. The word hijab is not mentioned in the Quran. The Quran does not tell the women to cover themselves up. So I don't know why Mr. Owaisi keeps dreaming of Muslim women in hijabs. Now women are covering themselves to escape the male gaze, and Mr. Owaisi is seeing them in his dreams. I think he should stop dreaming about women in hijabs, and he should stop staring at women in hijab, and he should stop bothering about women and leave women alone. He needs to be just stop being obsessed with us women. Leave us alone. We know what to do with our lives, and we know how to become prime ministers. We know how to become presidents. We know how to become Chief Justice of the Indian Supreme Court. We know how to join the Hague. We know how to go to the United Nations. We really don't need him to comment on us. He is a nobody, and he should understand that.
We had no less than a Justice of the Supreme Court who was a hijab-wearing woman, Fatima Bibi. And when she used to go to court to perform her public official duty, she used to remove the hijab. That is what Mr. Owaisi should be encouraging in young girls. Mohammad Farhan is back in on the discussion. Mohammad Farhan, साहब ये बताइए, आपके जो राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष श्री ओवैसी जी ने बोला है, अच्छी बात है, कोई को उससे कोई एतराज नहीं है, लेकिन चैरिटी बिगिंस एट होम एक कहावत है अंग्रेजी में. तो आपके पार्टी में बताइए कौन ऐसे महिला है जो हिजाब पहने हो, हिजाब ना पहने हो, जो लीडरशिप पोजीशन में है. क्या आपके राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष महिला है? क्या आपके जो प्रदेश अध्यक्ष हैं काफी सारे प्रदेशों में, क्या वो महिला है? कोई एक जन ऐसा है महिला जो आपके पार्टी में लीडरशिप पोजीशन में है?
जी सर, मैं आपकी बात को कह रहा हूं सर. हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश में महिला विंग की जो प्रेसिडेंट है नजमा फातिमा जी,
वो हिजाब भी पहनती हैं और क्या नाम है पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में महिलाओं को जोड़ने
फरहान
का
साहब,
काम।
महिला विंग के प्रेसिडेंट तो महिला ही बन सकती है ना।
सुनिए
ये बात तो आपको भी पता है।
नहीं, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ ना, मैं आपको गिनवा रहा हूँ कि हमारी पार्टी के अंदर कितनी महिलाएं हैं जो हिजाब पहनकर क्या नाम है आज की डेट में काम कर रही हैं।
सर, महिला विंग की प्रेसिडेंट तो आदमी नहीं बन सकता है ना, वो तो महिला ही बनेगी। ये क्या लॉजिक है आपकी?
अरे सुन लीजिए, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, गिनती करा रहा हूँ कि हमारे यहाँ कितनी महिलाएं।
बोलिए।
कौशिका परमार जी हैं जो कि क्या नाम है गुजरात में उनको टिकट दिया गया है, वो पार्टी के लिए काम कर रही हैं। आपके तमाम टीवी चैनलों पर भी ये खबर चली है। रिया सिद्दीकी जी हैं जो क्या नाम है मेन बॉडी में हमारे यहाँ प्रदेश सचिव हैं और क्या नाम है पार्टी के लिए काम कर रही हैं और पूरे प्रदेश में पार्टी को मजबूत करने का काम कर रही हैं। इस तरह की तमाम
फरहान साहब, एक सिंपल सी चीज मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, क्या आपके राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष मुस्लिम महिला हैं? प्रदेश के जो अध्यक्ष हैं, 5-7 प्रदेशों में आपके प्रदेश अध्यक्ष हैं, क्या वो महिला हैं? MLAs हैं आपके काफी सारे, तेलंगाना में हैं, महाराष्ट्र में हैं, बिहार में भी थे, क्या उसमें से एक भी महिला थी? तो आप अगर लीडरशिप पोजीशन अपने खुद के पार्टी के अंदर नहीं दे रहे महिलाओं को, तो फिर क्या ये हसीन सपने देख रहे हो ओवैसी साहब की एक दिन हिजाब पहनी हुई लड़की बनेगी भारत की प्रधानमंत्री? ये तो हसीन सपना ही है।
नहीं, हसीन सपना नहीं है। महात्मा गांधी जी ने भी जब अंग्रेजों के सामने ये बात कही थी कि एक दिन आप देखिएगा कि धोती और कुर्ता पहनने वाला इस देश का प्राइम मिनिस्टर होगा, तो अंग्रेजों ने उनका उपहास उड़ाने का काम किया था। वही आज बिल्कुल ओवैसी साहब पर लागू हो रहा है। चाहे भारतीय जनता पार्टी वाले उनका जितना भी उपहास उड़ा लें, हमें ये फर्क नहीं पड़ता। अगर विधि को लिखा होगा कि इस देश में भारत की एक ऐसी महिला प्रधानमंत्री बने जो हिजाब वाली हो, तो विधि 100% वो बनकर
फरहान
दिखाएगी।
साहब, किसी को कोई ऐतराज नहीं है अगर वो उनमें काबिलियत है, नहीं उनमें काबिलियत है और वो देश को कन्विंस कर सकेगी कि उनको मेजॉरिटी क्यों देना है, वो बिल्कुल आगे आना चाहिए और उनको पब्लिक ऑफिस में पोजीशन मिलना चाहिए। लेकिन किस पार्टी ने बोला अगर हिजाब नहीं तो किताब नहीं? ये तो बीजेपी ने नहीं बोला ना। किस पार्टी ने बोला?
जो हिजाब के मुद्दे को लेकर आप बात कर रहे हैं सर, कर्नाटक में जिन बच्चों ने कहा कि अगर हिजाब नहीं तो हम एग्जाम नहीं देने जाएंगे या हम पढ़ने नहीं जाएंगे, तो वो बच्चों का मुद्दा था। ओवैसी साहब ने तो कहा नहीं कि हिजाब नहीं किताब नहीं।
नहीं, आपको वो पोस्टर्स याद नहीं है फरहान साहब? मैं याद दिलाता हूँ, जो औरंगाबाद में आपके जो गढ़ माना जाता है, गढ़ नहीं मतलब आपके MLA वहां से आते हैं, औरंगाबाद में पोस्टर हिजाब नहीं तो किताब नहीं किसने लगवाई? बाकायदा MIM पार्टी के फ्लेक्स बोर्ड लगे थे वहां पे, हिजाब नहीं तो किताब नहीं।
देखिए क्या नाम है, हिजाब नहीं किताब नहीं, ये जो है ये पर्टिकुलर उन बच्चों का अपना स्लोगन है जो आज हिजाब की लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं कोर्ट से लेकर जमीन तक।
अंबर जैदी, ये बच्चों की लड़ाई नहीं थी, ये तो बिल्कुल 100% राष्ट्रीय राजनीतिक तरीके का एक लड़ाई था और आपके पार्टी भी इसमें एक अंग था। लेकिन एनीवे, लेट अंबर जैदी रिस्पॉन्ड टू इट एंड आई विल कम टू रतन शारदा आफ्टर दैट। या
Absolutely, it has been proven in the Supreme Court also, because it has been politicized by some so-called political parties and also PFI, and we all know that how they have been politicizing this particular matter for at least 8-9 months now, and nobody is focusing on the prime education of young girls. They are only politicizing this matter just to gain some political brownie points. I want to ask one question here. A Muslim lady in AIMIM, if they want to join, if I want to join AIMIM today, like this, without not wearing hijab, I can't be a member of AIMIM. Covering my basic requirement is to cover that. I'll give you an example of Sayeda Falak. She used to be without hijab, a normal girl, like a normal any Indian girl. And after even before joining AIMIM, she started wearing hijab and covering her head. So this is the basic requirement to become a member.
No, this is a great point. Let Farhan respond to this and I'll go back to Ratan Sharda after this. मोहम्मद फरहान साहब, ये बताइए कि महिलाओं को आपके पार्टी में सदस्यता मिलने के लिए क्या हिजाब पहनने की जरूरत है? बिना हिजाब पहने हुए औरतों को नहीं देंगे आप सदस्यता?
नहीं, बिल्कुल देंगे। अगर अंबर जैदी जी अगर हमारी पार्टी ज्वाइन करना चाहती हैं और इस शर्त के साथ कि वो बिना हिजाब में रहेंगी, तो हम उनका स्वागत करते हैं। कल आए पार्टी ज्वाइन करें। उनको
नहीं, उन्होंने एक उदाहरण दिया एक महिला के जो हिजाब पहनते नहीं थे, लेकिन जैसे आपके पार्टी में ज्वाइन किया उन्होंने तो हिजाब पहनना पड़ा उनको। क्या ये सच है?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं सर। देखिए, हिजाब अगर कोई व्यक्ति पहनता है तो वो उसकी चॉइस है।
नहीं, सिर्फ आपके पार्टी में सदस्यता मिलने के लिए उनको पहनना पड़ा।
नहीं सर, आप उनसे सैयदा फलक सर तमाम टीवी चैनल्स डिबेट करती हैं, आप भी उनसे बात कर सकते हैं कि उनको कभी एमआईएम पार्टी ने ये नहीं कहा कि आप क्या नाम है सदस्यता लेने से पहले आप हिजाब पहनी तभी आपको सदस्यता दी।
Okay, Amber, quick rebuttal, then Ratan Sharda. Yes, quick rebuttal.
After Owaisi ji forced me to wear this hijab.
Who said?
I want to.
Who said this? Who said this?
Prime Minister, if you are qualified enough to become a Prime Minister, anybody. We are living in a democracy. Anybody can become a Prime Minister of India. But that cannot be a measure to become a Prime Minister of this country.
Okay, let me ask Ratan Sharda. The criticism against the BJP is you have 300 MPs in the Lok Sabha, you have another almost 100 MPs in the Rajya Sabha. Out of 400 MPs, not a single one of them is from a minority community. Out of the entire Union Council of Ministers, 75 of them, not a single one is from the Muslim community. Why is the BJP so against Muslims? And it's not like there aren't capable Muslim candidates. In Uttar Pradesh, for example, where there are 400 tickets that were given by the BJP party, couldn't they find one single Muslim candidate?
See, Sakai already pointed out that this is something to do with winnability. As far as BJP is concerned, is branded Hindu nationalist bigot party. So don't expect, they don't have a responsibility to promote the Muslims. But why all these secular parties who have been there in the power for 60 years out of 75 years, what have they done for the Muslims? That is the bigger question. When somebody like Abdul Kalam becomes the president, the most popular president we ever had, the secular parties did not allow him to have a second term because he was not Muslim enough, because he played Veena, because he respected Gita. Then we have Arif Muhammad Khan, who was made a scapegoat for fighting for the rights of poor India, a Muslim woman called Shah Bano. And he was put on the side, on the sideline, not promoted anywhere in the political parties. Now, the larger point is that since 1921 Khilafat or Caliphate movement, the all secular parties have thrown away modern, forward-looking Muslims who want to be in the mainstream, and they brought all kind of Maulanas, Maulvis, orthodoxy, who believe in 7th century ideology, who doesn't believe in democracy, to come and lead the Muslims. And that is the tragedy. If we had modern people like Zaidi and Sherwani, we would find Muslims leading on so many fronts. Unfortunately, no secular party promotes modern, forward-looking Muslims. And we have all kind of bigots who throw all kind of vague statements and vague kind of constitutionalism to prove their point.
I'll wrap up by simply saying that while it may be a noble idea and no one has an issue with Mr. Owaisi asking for his dream of a hijab-wearing woman becoming Prime Minister, the least he can do is to begin by making his own party a little more inclusive, having more women in leadership positions. That's a wrap. Thanks very much for your time. Good night.
Everyone, you're watching News Epicenter, and we are starting with some piece of breaking news that is coming in from Telangana. And ahead of the Manugode by-poll, the Cyberabad police have raided a farmhouse in the Moinabad area and seized cash to the tune of 15 crore rupees. They have taken 3 people into custody for allegedly trying to bribe 4 TRS MLAs. The police also say